Welcome back to another episode of the Valentine Show. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling good. Some great, and it's all now taking shape, at least in my mind, and I'm seeing where Rudy Giuliani is taking this and what is the case that they're trying to make. In Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, today they had a hearing. I'm not sure if it was in Philadelphia, but in Pennsylvania. They had a hearing today regarding the election and as to what's going on. They had various people, various experts, various witnesses, etc., testify. And now I'm starting to see, and hence the smile on my face, that is starting to click. And it makes perfect sense. The strategy Rudy Giuliani is using. Let me just tell you right off the bat before I show you any of this video and some of the stuff that I think was very important today, right? I looked at a little bit of it, but then I saw this clip. I think it was on a YouTube channel. I think Pastor Jerome or something like that. He used some of this video that I'm about to show you, but I'm gonna give you my why am I happy? Why do I say that this strategy is valuable? And guys. No matter what you hear in this particular, the mainstream media put no mind to it. The election is not over. Donald Trump is not conceding, and especially after the case that they're trying to make here. What I'm seeing Rudy Giuliani do, he's trying to prove a statistical case. Makes perfect sense. Let me just give you a quick example. How is it that there are more votes than people registered? That's statistics, right? You don't necessarily have to go and verify the signature on every single ballot. You know that if there's 1 million people registered to vote and you have 2 million votes, you know that there's fraud. This is the case that Rudy Giuliani is trying to make. We're going to get into this expert right here, where he talks about there is another spike in the vote, as the same as there was in Michigan, as the same that there was in Wisconsin. I have shown the graphs here, how in Wisconsin, I forget if I think it was in Wisconsin 6 or 3 o'clock in the morning, a spike of hundreds of votes for Biden. Same thing in Michigan, hundreds of votes for Biden. Same thing in Philadelphia here, hundreds of votes for Biden. I just want people to explain it to me. That's all I want. I'm not asking for more. And not only me, 70 million Americans want to know where are these spikes coming from and why there are no spikes for Donald J. Trump. Let's get into this expert right here. Rudy Giuliani sitting right next to him. I'm gonna put this and I'm gonna just let this play. That way you guys hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. That way you see, in my opinion, which is a great, we're not talking about a great way of showing that there is fraud involved in the election. I'm gonna put it where he explained who this person is, and then we go into what he found, which is, to me, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Good afternoon, Senator, Colonel, and gentlemen, ladies. My name is Phil Waldron. I'm a retired Army Colonel, 30 years. Spent the first half of my career, just like Colonel Mastriano here, as a cavalry officer conducting armed reconnaissance, counter-reconnaissance. Last half of my career spent in information warfare as a psychological operations officer and information operations officer, conducted computer network operations, electronic warfare, special electronic warfare, deception, counter-deception, and OPSEC, and a couple other specialties.
This is not a nobody. This person has a track record to follow. This person got a name, right, to make sure it doesn't get dirty, right? Not a nobody here.
So I spent all of my time as an operations officer. My perspective, looking at this problem set, is how to break in, how to break it, how to destroy it, how to manipulate it. And my team has been researching this specific issue since August, but we're working with another team that's been intently working on this problem set, the voting machine manipulation, for 2 years, since the Ted Cruz and Beto race in Texas in 2018 and the Kentucky governor's race, where there were significant anomalies observed. And I'd like to add that there are many, many more teams like ours, small teams
Great news.
that are joined in this fight, and they're throwing the flag left and right. So there's a lot of folks who are recognizing anomalies.
Okay, so that's him. You know that he's a professional of the craft. Now, let's see what he actually says regarding the election and the anomalies that you're going to see. And he's going to get into the spike of votes that come in for Biden.
These spike anomalies can have equally negative. The password to your bank account out putting it on the dark web. It's not going to be there very long.
Here we go.
And just so you probably are all aware, on 30 September, an election storage facility was robbed in your state. 30 USB devices were stolen and a laptop. Those USB devices more than likely had encryption devices, and you've just heard another previous witness talk about the non-standard use of the USB storage devices. So these systems, in a nutshell, allow authorized and unauthorized users to cancel votes, shift votes, preload votes, vote blank ballots, all in real time and in large numbers.
Wow.
They're connected from the top to the bottom. So one bad actor or a team of bad actors can have equally negative inputs. It's been described by another person in another state that we're working with, just like the lotto. Whoever organizes the lotto is always going to win. It's controlling the numbers and it's controlling the margins. Our experts and other academics believe that up to 1.2 million Pennsylvania votes could have been altered or fraudulent.
Wow, 1.2 million.
This is what we discovered in the last 22 days. Really, only a detailed forensic analysis of the actual machines and software will truly show how many Pennsylvania citizens have had their civil rights violated. So to use these type of machines with little or no audit trails, little or no transparency of how the votes are processed, where they go, where they're stored, will never leave the public satisfied that we truly have a representative democracy.
Democrats should not be mad if we want an audit. Just want to make sure that the vote counted and that the vote was not diluted. Is that too much to ask? I mean, I don't think so. I want to thank the people that are here so far. Please like, comment, and share. Helps me a lot. I'm trying to get to 10K here on the channel, and only with your help, we're going to make it happen. I promise you this, that I'm not going to bore you or try to clickbait you into videos that have nothing to do with anything. That's just more stupidity of more stupidity. You want facts and you want some solid evidence, you're going to get it right here on the Valentine Show. So please like, comment. Let's continue here.
Want to share with you one chart. I believe it's in your package. So what our team has done is focused on the spike anomalies. And these are events where a numerical amount of votes are processed in a time period that's not feasible or mechanically possible under normal circumstances. I believe Greg Stenstrom mentioned earlier the processing of these ballots through machines. There's a manufacturer specified rate of speed that a number of ballots can be imaged and processed. These spike anomalies in this chart really show where for us to look forensically to actually determine what happened with these votes.
Makes perfect sense.
Our team has looked at these systems, and there are a dozen ways to interdict the voting process in these issues, whether it's mail-in ballot manipulations. They can scan and allocate votes, blank votes, where there was 70,000 votes left in the back room. There's just lots of ways to interdict these systems. So with that, I'll answer any potential questions.
Thank you. Next panel, please.
Could I just
Yes, sir.
Pay attention. What
clarify one or two things?
Giuliani asks.
When we look at this Pennsylvania fixing the vote chart that they all have, could you explain at the very beginning
Pay attention,
that
guys.
line means Biden injection?
So at the very beginning of the chart, where there's a circle, it says on election day. What that indicates is there is a spike in loaded votes, 337,000 plus or minus of some votes that were added in there in one big batch. So that was an anomaly in the reporting. Normally you would expect to see a smooth curve
of course.
going up. not any big spikes. That's kind of what Greg was talking about.
Like nobody has to, you don't have to be like an A student in math to know that if they're putting in votes over time, the curve has to be smooth. It's just smooth curve. If you see a spike out of nowhere at 3 o'clock in the morning, 150,000 votes, you know there's a problem. But here, in this case, there were more than 150,000 votes.
About the anomalies of loading and uploading those votes. So that big spike that occurs there is a prime indicator of fraudulent voting.
And that's 604,000 votes in 90 minutes, is that right?
Correct. This is 337 votes, 337,000 votes in that
period of time.
Yes.
And when you look at this entire curve with all these spikes, can you calculate how much of a vote that accounted for Biden and how much for Trump?
Close to 600,000. I think our figures are about 570 some odd thousand that all those spikes represent over time.
For Biden?
Correct.
And how?
Why all these spikes? Spikes for Biden. Spikes for Biden. Out of nowhere. Spikes for Biden. Totaling around 600,000. Look how many they say for Trump.
How much for Trump?
I think it was a little over 3,200.
Look at the people. 3,200.
Just to go back to your original document, this one pager that they all have. Mail-in ballots counted without being observed. Those are the ballots we were talking about that were not observed in Allegheny County and in Philadelphia.
Correct.
Is that right? 682,770. Now, this is the part that is a mystery. Mailed ballots sent out, 1,823,148.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the
Received, how many?
count of the final count of the vote, there are 2,589,242 mail-in ballots.
More ballots, mail-in ballots counted as votes than were sent out. Are we stupid? Like, I mean, I'm like, are they taking us for stupid?
What happened? How do you account for the 700,000 mail-in ballots that appeared from nowhere?
So our cyber team uses white hat hacking techniques. They gather a lot of publicly available information, and that information was from the Secretary of State's website. That website has been updated as late as 11/16 this morning with provisional and mail-in ballots. So those numbers are still changing. They changed last night, so it's a continual target.
This is 22 days after the election.
That number, the 2.5 million number is no longer on the website.
Just been taken off?
It's not there anymore.
Is there any explanation for why it's been taken off?
There was no annotations.
But has there been a change made in the 2,589,242 mail-in votes that have been counted in the total vote?
I'd have to check the Secretary of State's website.
Basically, let's get right back into this. Basically, the case that Rudy's making is a very clear one to anybody that could add 2 + 2. How are there more votes being counted, mail-in ballots counted that were sent out? How is that possible? We send in, let's put it in even simpler terms. We send out 5, we get back 10. How is that even possible? Makes no sense. And the other vote or strategy that they're trying to make here, in general, is the strategy which again makes even more sense to invalidate certain elections, right? Is the process. They invalidated the process, meaning that the process were illegal, not allowing Republicans to view vote counting, ballot counting, et cetera, et cetera. If the process was, or the law was broken in the vote counting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, if they could prove that and invalidate the election, I think Rudy, oh my God, I can't speak right now. Rudy Giuliani has an excellent case right now. These are the cases that they're trying to make, that there are more votes counted that were sent in, and that the process done was an illegal process. If they combine these two, more votes counted that were sent out and the process was illegal, I think they have, in my opinion, they have a very solid case. But my opinion doesn't count. Your opinion counts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What exactly is of all this? This is exciting news, to be honest. And this is some real credible stuff. Again, you guys seen the channel, what I've done, and the evidence that I've constantly shown time after time is those graphs in Michigan, those graphs in Wisconsin, these spikes that we're talking about, that we get them at 3, 6 o'clock in the morning. Why at that time? And why spikes only for Biden? Same situation happening in Pennsylvania when we get spikes for Biden only. Makes no sense. Like, comment, share. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Like, comment, share. I am Valentine. God bless. Godspeed me, Valentine. I am out.